Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's going on, fellas? My name is Rafael Chasinas, known as El Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to a special episode of Straight Outta Nation, because this is Rush and Shine Sunday, because we're going to recap all Las Vegas Raiders 2026 NFL Draft. So how are you guys doing on this brightful, this incredible Sunday? Let me hear your thoughts right now. Let me hear make some noise. Because after the whole NFL Draft 2026, right now, let's get to business right now. And make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on different social media, on Instagram, at Capitán Rafucho 93, on Kick, TikTok, and Twitch. And if you want to help and support the stream, you can make a donation by Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. All financial help is welcome. Now, during for the draft 2026 of the NFL, right now, Las Vegas Raiders, we got our quarterback, Fernando Mendoza by Indiana Hoosiers, the Heisman Trophy winner. Welcome to the Silver and Black Nation, Fernando Mendoza. And I hope you guys enjoying the draft 2026 of the NFL, including for us, Las Vegas Raiders. So what exactly are my thoughts about for the NFL draft class in 2026? Because not only we can show this video coming out there, also this photo, because not only we draft a quarterback, which is Fernando Mendoza, also we draft a lot of secondary, wide receiver, defense, more than an offense right now, because, well, to be honest, right now, it seems like, yeah, at the beginning, it seems very comparative. It seems very important. So we all know about this. At the second round, we seems like, what in the actual fuck are we doing right now? I mean, come on now. But at the round number 4, 5, 6, and 7, we just came here to the jackpot. Nani? With the underrated gems coming out there. All right, so we got for the round number 1, we drafted a quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. At the round number 2, we drafted a safety, Trayden Stokes. At the round number 3, we drafted an edge from Auburn, K.O. Crawford. On the round number 3, again, we drafted an online from Texas, Trey Soon third. At the round number 4, we traded out from the Tennessee Volunteers, General McCoy. At the round number 4, we traded out for a running back, Mike Washington Jr., as known as the Black Lightning. At round number 5, we drafted safety, Dalton Johnson. Round number 5, once again, we drafted Ezekiel Massis, cornerback. For the round number 6, we draft a wide receiver for the Oregon Ducks, Malik Benson. And for the round number 7, we draft for the NC State, Brandon Cleveland. So this is right here, the draft class of 2026 of Las Vegas Raiders. So what exactly about my thoughts coming up there? Well, to be honest right now, I think most of this year class make the team and stay as a foundational depth pieces at the very least for 2026, 2027. I think that Isaiah Polamau, Jeremy Chin, Malcolm Coombs, and any veteran on one-year contracts will be phased out and not resign in next year unless they really ball out. That draft wasn't about 2026, but getting younger in 2027 to set up as the year we're going after as far as the beginning to competitive. A lot of these young guys from last year's class and this year's class, and of course the undrafted free agency, will give me the legit opportunities to make the team actually play, improve themselves, unlike what happened last season. Because having these young guys as foundational depth will free up more cap space and allow to use it after high impact players in trade and free agency next off season. But those other guys could hit or miss, but the only guy who actually cannot be a miss is Fernando Mendoza. If only Mendoza and other draftee become pro ballers and a few others are Arborist starters, then we're going to hit a home run with this class. But how do those persons drafted usually don't work out league-wide? They could usually be right, they could usually be wrong, but look what Jack Bish did last year. Second round pick last year that everyone loved on draft night. We don't really even know what a draft class that last year can do. And how it essentially passing on drafting online. I know they took Son, but he was announced as a center. And we just signed Tyler Lindenbaum. It was kind of like surprising, but I don't know about you folks, but it seems really right. But he was experienced playing all 5 online positions and gave up 0 sacks for signing right tackle for Texas that year. I think that this guy could be a stud. Yeah, it could be a stud. Because for me, it is happening right now. They just start to seriously push for a starting position. At worst, it's valuable, versatile depth piece. But man, I gotta do that right now. They're gonna be a win or they're gonna be a lose for Las Vegas Raiders. Mainly because they finally took a real swing at the franchise quarterback. Because after all these years of failure, disappointment, and of course, anxiety, depression, and don't even think about Jamarcus Russell because we all know he's the draft boss of all the things. We just wrapped up a franchise quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. And we love it. We love it at all. All right, so we got the comments coming up there. We got Mike Lopez to say, horrible fifth round. How do you think that horrible fifth round? Because we use it like wide receivers, much important about the secondary. And Mike Lopez to say, we choose a 20-year safety over Lee Hunter and Jacob Rodriguez. Now, I just wanted to tell you between for Jacob Rodriguez, because that's one of those guys that I really need to draft it. And between for Lee Hunter, I really accept that. And Michael Lopez to say C grade on our draft board. I don't think it's going to be C+. I'm going to say B or A. It is to say, would you trade Crosby for a first round or third or fourth pick on 2027? I don't think it's going to be possible. Not at all, because I understand that Max Crosby wants to see as a Raider for life, but I'm not really sure if next year could be it or could be not. But let's see what is going to happen. But it wasn't like really perfect because they're really heavy reliance on Mendoza. If he struggles, the class could be weaker. But with injury risk of McCoy, could be like similar to boom or a bust pick. They're going to be mixed depending on the evaluator because they have a balanced draft strategy. And they just went into all those secondary, also defense, offense, anything, because they need quarterback and speed weapons. Secondary upgrades, depth, extra picks via trades. But in some point, Jones Pick Tech had a smart ballot of picks, especially on defense. Jamal McCoy, a cornerback for Tennessee Volunteers, considered a steal because he slipped due to injury concerns. It might help on secondary, defensive line, offensive line depth. They don't want to chase stars. They fill real needs. And that's what happened. That's what happens at all. Because I don't know about you guys, but they're really hyped out for like running back and the defensive backs. But all over for those podcasts that I made before the draft, we really need a wide receiver. I mean, Trey Tucker, Dante Dr. Jr., I mean, could be helpful, but we don't have like a wide receiver number one, a truthful one. Statistically, most of those picks are really good, but most of them even on the team at the end of the 2020 season. Even a smaller chance to become like contributors, even smaller chance, but then become anywhere like Pro Bowl or All Pro level. I mean, I'm just hoping that we hit like a bunch of guys like Kelly on my draft, but it seems fair. But oh man, but how we drafted a running back instead of wide receiver? Because to be honest, right now we have Aston Genty and we have Mike Washington, as known as the Black Lightning. Could be really helpful. And many people will glad like at a bone late. First, Washington, even he had a remote path to starting, he started to get the absolutely worst landing spots behind like something like that. But it was just freaking brutal. I don't think it's gonna be worth in a second, but I'd rather be like shot in for every reason at all. But one of the right receivers back up to the second round, to be honest, right now. But I just wanted to see. But if we good right now, they're gonna be stoked. They're gonna be really stoked. But how is gonna be like such a freak athlete until year 5 to be really productive? Is because Washington is gonna be really bad or something worse. I don't know. A guy with top end athleticism across 4 years football, I don't think it's gonna be realistic at all. But I don't know why so many people had that many spot coming up there. Could be anything. What more can we realistically expect? Because he was like a first round pick, and now I'm not sure that they take like the second one unless they're gonna own for Genty. But what are people expecting for Washington? He was drafted as a bell cow? He has a clear path to be a running back number 2 on the promising offense with a first-year head coach who just left in an offense that had a timeshare wide running back room. I think it's actually good if you kind of flex the potential early on. Could be like everything. Am I liberty to say 5th round we passed on safety Whaley, cornerback Lorenzo Styles, Saint Durant, Enrique Cruz, tight end Josh Cuevas, quarterback Taylor Green. And I agree with that. I agree with that. We passed on big names because I would have expected to draft Christian Miller for Georgia Bulldogs, or maybe Marlon Klein from Michigan Wolverines. I would say that, but it's not going to be really easy at all. Not at all, but, you know, it's going to be like something else. But he was just like, we passed on the big names coming up there for college football, including center. But how are we going to do like non-drafted? Could be favoritism, could be surprising, could be like, I don't know, depressing. But man, I mean, Stuck is a good pick, but Jerome McCoy is a steal. If we slide on and benefit for being healthy, but if he stays healthy, it will be fun to see him and Stokes flying around the secondary for years to come. Because right now for the secondary, vastly improvement, the linebacker free agency additions, and mass wrecking havoc on the line, they're going to be really excited defense to watch out of that season. Because if you know what that means, we want to see like really clear. And mainly because if he doesn't have to play a snap, it was really about like, again, I'm just being okay for that. It was obviously the go for it. Obviously the goes for either way. And also we got another comments there. Undrafted free agent Kick Matsuwa was the most accurate kicker in college. Now, to be honest right now, I mean, he's from Japan. And I would say, wow, this one gets the lottery coming up there. But it feels like really different at all. Just really different. It just seems like they took like immediately could happen. And despite not getting this name called, Matsuwa is heading to the league. They call him the Tokyo Toe. The Tokyo Toe. And I was just like, man, he's a kicker? I was just like, man, he'll be like a good fit enough with this one. I mean, there's a good moment to see international players playing for Las Vegas Raiders. And let me tell you for this right here, because I know that some people maybe hate or love coming up there, but it's a good low risk, but it's the upside fit for us. It's not a guaranteed solution, but he feels like a real need. There's going to be a lot of kicker competition because they're actually rebuilding their special teams. And Daniel Carson could be like, I don't know, could be sharing off for this moment. And what you see about like that talent for Kansei Matsuzawa from Japan, he has a light accuracy in college at University of Hawaii. That kind of essentially exactly what NFL teams are looking for. 27, 29 field goals in his final season, and it tied off for FBS record with 25 straight made kicks. And he was a finalist for the top kicker award. He wasn't just good. He was like the best one in college. And he was a former soccer player who learned kicking on his own. And he was part of the International Player Pathway Program for the NFL. If Matsuka makes the team with him and Lakatasi, they won't come to against 53 because they're considered international players. And I agree with that. I agree. Because I know he wasn't drafted. Because he went undrafted and signed as a free agent. And he's already 27 years old. Older than the most rookies. He's the real competition on the roster. He battled Baron kicker like Matt Gay from the job. But he's like a camp battle possible starter. This is like a classic smart for the Raiders. Low cost, real upside, fills a kneel. But he's not like a game-changing addition, just like a potential libero piece if he wins the job. But I will say this, that kid could be something incredible. And I guarantee that this is something really needs for. I will say that. I will say for any reason. And it feels really different that year because I understand that last year we just drafted a running back for Boise State, which is Aston Genty. But man, I'm going to say it really, really louder, but it was just like fantastic. Really fantastic. But not what I really expected. But I was just like, damn, much I had expected because I just hope that many positions are really filled with most everything. But it feels like really different because I'm not the only person who feels like really away because our free agency coming up there for delivery to Sully Center to start. And furthermore, we absolutely got a dog for the forbearing for the injury. The rest of the draft looks pretty good, pretty solid, both this year or last year. And remember, last year we got wide receiver. I don't know what's happening to those. But I was just like, man, my hopes are going to be really behind. But my biggest worry, if we can start like 3-2 or 2-3 with Cousins under center, if we have like the low IQ portion of a fan base screen for Fernando, it wasn't really put his talent, but makes rookie mistakes, and we finish like 6-11. But we need to let this front office work. Rebuilds don't work like imagine what your first round pick takes you to the Super Bowl next year. None of this. But it seems like we had to be really patient. I understand that this year is not our moment to win the Super Bowl. Not yet. But there's still plenty of holes, pause, on that team and tough, so many faces coming out there so quickly. It could be like a bumpy season, but it feels like things are really coming up together. Because the could be hard is what really feels different. After years and years and years of Mark just picking up the dude, feel like for whatever reason, he actually led a general manager through a proper coaching surge and interviewed the process. Then letting us for a Super Bowl winning like offensive coordinator, head coach, was on the same page with the general manager. Everything else is just wait and see. We had a long way to go, but it was nice to see like it operate like in a normal competitive franchise the offseason. But I think this could be happening enough. But I was just like, man, could be really enough. Could be really like something that reprove, something that people want to see us make it great. Man, I got to tell it about this right now. Also, Michael Lopez says, Stokes and Crawford over Lee Hunter and Jacoby Lane is very head-scratching. So I just wanted to tell you between for that question of Lee Hunter. So he actually matches what the Raiders need at offense because Hunter is a true interior defensive lineman. Big body, run stuffer. At UCF, he show up, good gap control, ability to take on double teams, constantly run stopping. That's exactly the type of the player you plug into the early down. So I don't know why they didn't choose Lee Hunter because he can rotate with players like Matt Crosby. He's the most valuable. Keep the line fresh and physical. High motor, physical state, but it seems like John Spitek has a very opinion of Lee Hunter. Because to be honest right now, Lee Hunter, it seems like a not disrupted interior pass rusher. He doesn't offer much in sacks, quick penetration. In today's NFL, that limits his ceiling. And he's like more than a role player than a star. And he depends on team usage. He's the best in run-heavy situations, short yard package, but he's going to be like a role player rotational piece. He's going to be like the kind of pick that doesn't get headlines, but it helps you win games on the trenches. But if they want to use correctly, Lee Hunter can quickly become one of those glue guys that every good defense could be like everything else. So I was just like, hey, we just got to hit the jackpot coming out there. Also, we got Mike Lubber to say, whoever made the call on Stokes over Lee Hunter or Jacob Rodriguez when they were there needs to be on administrative leave. I don't think it's going to be really possible. And salute to my brother Afakasi. Salute to you, Afakasi. So Rafa, still alive. Yes, I'm still alive, and I'm still doing it great. And Afakasi to say, Lee Hunter is a radio, so who cares? We didn't choose Lee Hunter. We didn't choose it. But we just need like more to feel about it this way. But to be honest, between for like all these positions coming up there, it really helped a young quarterback with separation, big plays, and they wanted to bring like accuracy, competition, because we need offensive line depth. It really needed, because they just solve the quarterback issue. They just improve defense with just cornerback, defensive tackle. They add speed on offense. So we're going to do that, we're going to do. And there's no elite pass rusher added. Some picks are protection heavy, but there's going to be a lot of person depends on Mendoza the ball. There's like more complete and logical that we ever had in years. It's not that really perfect, but really balanced, upside, aligned with the real plan, but it feels like really different and more grounded than before. Still improving, because we've been seeing the blueprints of the team right now, because this had to translate onto the field. But what it feels like, we actually have come to a plan. And for the first time, it feels like the general manager and the head coaching staff are all in sync. Because if you remember, going back to the McKenzie days, well, it's one of those key factors are always off. Not following with the staff, the roster and draft moves make sense, and they're actually building a team as opposed to just adding players. Because the coach stuff, people throw around. Because for us, we have every type of coach that you think, including coordinators, that claim their rank and retreats. Also legacy, entering top college former players. So the whole type of the coach is very redundant. Very redundant. And some people try to read some lines that we just can there. Because we need like a physical guy who can use tight things that Genty is weak at, like blocking and give Genty a breather so you can don't run his wheel dog. We're not getting like the type of running back that we wanted to use the pick there. But we're just like at very interception of the build is rebuilt. Because there's going to be like a lot of runway in front of us. Because we have a first-time head coach, first-time defensive coordinator, new rookie quarterback. Most of the players are new to this team. It feels damn good. But I'm pretty excited how things are really set up going forward. But it's going to be so far to go, so much to happen on the real or trajectory, as we all know, Las Vegas Raiders. Because I just wanted to fully expect it the next season to be like really clunky. Lots of fits and starts, lots of mistakes and general looseness, but it's all about like the refining process. I mean, if everything goes right, it's going to be some there tied up for the history coming up there. And I'm loving it. As a Raider fan, could be like everything. Could be like everything else. Am I lucky to say, with the addition of Rama Hamby, we actually do have a three-headed monster in our backfield. That is right. And Dylan Love could pack his back. Sorry, it didn't work out. And speaking about Dylan Love, so we have a lot of breaking news coming up there. Just only one breaking news that makes people everything excited. Well, some people don't, but yeah, I just wanted to tell you. Guess who's been traded by another team? And I just wanted to tell you, that person is, drummer please, Tyree Wilson. Former draft pick of 2023 is traded from the New Orleans Saints, a new high-selling edge in New Orleans, and they're trading. Yes, it was a trade alert. because it's a high ceiling edge. I mean, it was like really worse because they've been calling for last season. They've been calling for last season. And our question is, did we have the good idea trading Tyree Wilson to help our cap space? Because the 7th overall pick tends for a well or full guarantee contract outside of the 50-year option. Does that mean that helps our cap situation? Because if we save like $4 million, there's dead money that upside the savings. Because before that, I was getting really hyped up for Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez was our pick from the 2023 NFL draft. And they drafted Tyree Wilson, which is pretty much unnecessary, pretty much meh. But the main way that I've been seeing savings, not reflecting the cap, is an example to a 7th-round pick is waived. Because how the cap is top 51. How in the hell is it going to be like another 51? Come on. Just tell us what happens coming up there. I mean, come on now. Come on. Because how in the hell is it going to be like top 51? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense because I know it's going to be like between boom or bust, but no. It wasn't. It wasn't. And people thought it's going to be the last chance coming up there? No. Because I understand that he's a first round, but he's a bust. I know he can play a rotational level for many teams, but it's still looking at such a head scratcher to pick. He's a raw player with a foot injury over some really good prospects. Looking at that Nets pick over the board. If the Raiders guy want to say that the Nets are the card game because after we pick, I'll call them out for the all-pro picks. Because we passed out, I don't know, for Bajon Cards, Bajon Robinson, Jalen Carter, even Christian Gonzalez. Top corner, more important, the kids had some lesson character intangibles. Because the fact is, he's not that really good enough for more effort coming up there. Moving up for everything. Because this is why he should never cover the convert of the fate of that too. Because he was like an amount of food, to work ethic. I mean, it's been like 4 years. You can develop a technique. Some improvements. Just run like a 3,000 pounds dudes, and no wonder they don't fall like they did in college. It was just like a waste of potential on an atomic level. And I'm telling you right now, he just literally a bust. So bye-bye, Tyree Wilson. Bye-bye, bitch. Just come on. Come on now. And we had another comment for Mike Lopez. We have plenty of defensive tackles, no room for Tyree. And also last year was a sort of breakout year from Lolu, who I see keeping building up. It is right. It is right. It is right. Because if we need something to get through, because I just wanted to do with any player coming off there healthier. Because the real director, the first thing you do will just push up. I don't care if the player that skip that turns like the pro, there's like a more downside that up. But people thought it's gonna be a good pick, it was injury made or the slip, but it just didn't work it out. Maybe the ceiling was high, but not that really much. Not pretty much. Because without a doubt, we have so many defensive linemen. If we drafted, he might not get in a chance that year. He played decent last year on a terrible team. But it can be like a make it or break it, so no. So I was just like, hell no. That was just like, man, it was like not at all. Oh, man. All right, anyways, we got another comments coming up there. Alpha Cassie Raider to say, what was your favorite draft pick, Rafa? Around for this year or all the years? So my favorite draft pick of that year, Jerry McCoy. cornerback. I know he's a potential steal, but he became my favorite draft pick. I know he fell in the draft during the juries, not the talent, but he has cornerback traits with the physical and ball skills. If he's healthy, they're going to be one of the biggest steals in the class. And he's possibly be like an upside high end starter. I really love it. Really, really love it at all. But he became like one of my favorite draft picks around for this year, including Fernando Mendoza, because everything revolves around him. Hard talent, adoption, opportunity, high ceiling. If he does properly, he becomes the new face of Las Vegas Raiders. And I will say this. I like Jerome McCoy and Fernando Mendoza, which is currently a boat. Okay? We agree with that? Boat. Yep. We agree on all of that. But between for that year, the draft class, I will say shout out to Spatek, Kubiak, and coach staff, scouts, entire front, all involved. That was like a way to go. They're going to be like the best draft in years. And they fill a lot of positions with good, fast players. And we're going to be really sure if we're going to head it to the right direction. It's like really early and things are just on paper. But they have the big potential to rival the 2014 draft at some point. And John Spatek went down early, surgically attacking some of the biggest needs on the team with a special emphasis on the secondary. But they really need and more depth. I mean, Cleveland Masses and of course McCoy, they're absolutely steals. Absolutely steals it at all, but it feels like really different at all, including for the undrafted free agency, the UDF. But I will save it at this right now. Could be everything right. Also, my love to say, I believe Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech was the perfect blood due linebacker in the second round. I'm not sold on linebacker Dean who missed over 20 games the last 3 seasons. Yes, because I just seems like, well, between for Jacob Rodriguez, could be like certainly a good choice to draft it at all. But here's some thing about like Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. Could be good, could be bad enough, but it's more like complementary piece than a centerpiece. And I want to see like if it fits the mother linebacker role that the Raiders need. He has like a strong instance in tackling, but why John Spatek to say we're gonna pass on Jacob Rodriguez? Because he's not like a perfect fit. He has limited size, power, not a lead pass rusher, and the selling could be really capping. Could be like a solid contributor, but I understand there's some persons that just wanted to pass out on Jacob Rodriguez. That could be like a smart NFL fit. But he won't have line to the draft class, but he's going to be quietly become one of those players that you know is every week making the right play. Could be everything right. Could be everything right for any reason at all. Just like that. Just like that at all. But I would just say this. Probably if we need something to get improved our defense and offense, they're going to be everything right. And I just wanted to tell you, did you guys check out the brand new image that I just got at all? Yeah. I look like a tight end coming up there. So I didn't get drafted as the quarterback or a tight end, but hey, I still got the talent coming up there. But between for the wide receivers, because I will look at it for everything, because if you mention about wide receivers, that's the magic that we needed to. Speed kills. And John Spatek doesn't only look to straight line speed. He was on big on the agility trees. It's RAAAAAAIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIIII drafts the best track team everyone. Look has to really possess. I mean, Al Davis was a great general manager. And he drafted like the best track, including whatever those players coming out. And I would say, wow, could be like everything else. And we did the same last year with Thornton, Order, Melot, but it seems like it'll be like a profile. But I understand could be like the right away, but at least none of those horrible reaches. I'm telling you. Because trading stocks, Mike Washington Jr., Malik Benson could be like something realistic. And I would say this. I wouldn't say that at all because that's going to be like a big plus involving for speed. They're going to be really perfect to Aston Genty. But it was just like a solid because they wanted to bring athletic upside to the secondary because there's three things that we needed for: speed, length, fluid moment. And they're trying to be like more athletic and versatile in coverage. And he fit that direction. And he had the same versatility. He can line up as outside cornerback, nickel in certain packages, especially behind guys like Jerome McCoy, if he the balls at the starter. But I was just like, wow, he's more like an upside pick. And how are we going to fit it at all? Because we already added secondary pieces, but the snaps will come like easy early on. Could be like a dimensional low, but this is like a classic trades plate. Not that really excited, but could be like look smart in a couple of years if the coaching staff devolves him properly at all. And he competes for a rotational role. And that's what it happens. That's what really happens. He said, I hope we get number one pick again in 2027. I don't think so. Jacoby Lane was there with our pick 6-7. Exactly it is. And you will say at 6'4", 210 wide receiver who ran 4.4, who catch everything while playing at the University of Southern California. And that's right. That's right at all. We got another comment out there on Instagram Live to say, Adrian right now, 123. And he was telling me at the comment to say, Cowboys won the draft. Yep. They have the biggest steal, which is Malachi Washington. Yep. Malachi Washington and, of course, Caleb Jones. And I'm going to say, I'm very impressed about for the draft class coming up there. Yep. The draft class coming up there. And I was just like, man, how is this like really important to get involved a lot of this? How is this like, wow. They're tracking another this right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so I just wanted to ask one question. Who was the college football who drafted all the players in the NFL draft 2026? And I will see if anything, who was the college who wins at the 2026 draft? I just wanted to tell you, drum roll please. It was the Ohio State Buckeyes. Because they just drafted 10 players, including, well, Carnell Tate, Albert Reese, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs. Because I know there's going to be something realistic coming out there. Because I know Ohio State is very high caliber when it comes to wide receiver, cornerback, but it seems like they have strong IQ football. They don't want it to be expected at all. But they have good instincts, ball skills, explosive speed, vision. I think Ohio State took all over the draft 2026, including Clemson, including Georgia Bulldogs, Alabama. Also, there was Michigan Wolverines. I mean, all those college football teams that just realized they have the best of the best of the best on the best on the best draft. And guess what? Two teams that are not drafted in any of those rounds of the NFL draft 2026. So I was telling you, there's two teams coming up there. The two teams are North Carolina Tar Heels and Colorado team for Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick. Just disappointment. Disappointing at all. Because let me tell you something about like Colorado and North Carolina Tar Heels. Because first and foremost, last season with all the hype of Bill Belichick coming back to college, especially when it comes to North Carolina Tar Heels, it was a completely bust. And between for the Colorado, along with Deion Sanders. Because if you guys remember, back in 2025, 2024, with Las Vegas Raiders, they're begging to draft Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. And what they did? Nothing. Zero. Nada. And last season, Colorado, they dropped the worst record ever in the college football history. Just making a disappointment right now. Really disappointed right now. But they have something like really bad, but not many generational prospects that are positive this year. Because I understand the Ohio State will make it really good because they're already skilled players, strong fundamental lacrosse positions, high football IQ prospects. And they have some injury concerns, which is the depth players, the running backs. But I guarantee that this one is going to be so much interesting right now. But I was like very impressed at all. I was really impressed at all, but it seems like what's going to be really happening at all. But not only the North Carolina Tar Heels and Colorado, along with Deion Sanders, the former NFL player, was the biggest losers ever in an NFL draft. Another biggest loser coming up there for the NFL draft. And it was from Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia. Yes, Diego Pavia was undrafted. Because he didn't get drafted on the 2026 NFL draft. Because what happened? Despite being a Heisman Trophy runner-up and having a huge season at Vanderbilt, he was not selected in any of the 7 rounds. Because that made one of the biggest surprises on the draft. The first Heisman finalist to go undrafted since 2014. But where did they go undrafted? Even with great college production, they have a lot of concerns. His size, he's below typical NFL quarterback standard. Arm strength limitations, play style, more like a college playmaker than pro-style quarterback. He's an older prospect compared to the others. It was going to happen next. Going undrafted doesn't mean it's over. He can sign as an undrafted free agent, compete in rookie minicamp, training camp, trying to earn a backup quarterback role, practice squad spot. They're going to be a good fit for, I don't know. Could be Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, but it's going to be still legit. But it's one of those players could be surprise people if he lands in the right system, but he had to earn everything the hard way now. Could be like everything hardened in one, but Diego Pavia, I know that you're small, but it's not over yet because there's a few teams that you can prove it all. And I know you have like one more year in college or maybe doesn't, but I was just like, man, it's just like, oh man, I gotta tell about this right now. All right, so after the draft, there comes from me, which is a schedule release. So I'm really sure that all the people, including diehard fans, casual fans, and of course, all the sports fans coming out there that are about to book their travels, hotels, everything. But I don't think that this season could be like more expensive or maybe cheaper. But I'm not really sure about this. Not really sure, but it seems like after the whole draft coming up there, it just seems like there's a schedule release, there's a training camp, also there's the preseason coming up there. There's going to be like a hell of the summer coming up there. Hell of the summer coming up there. And to be honest, right now, before we get the things wrapped up right now, I just wanted to tell you about a little bit of mental health. I know the mental health is not a joke, so I'm going to do this right now. Over the last few days, I've been struggling doing something that I really love. And there are some comments who say that, oh, Raffle is so weak. Raffle is just like a loser. Raffle is not a real fan. Raffle don't represent to us. But at the end of the day, I prove myself that I can continue, that I can do whatever it takes, that I can actually do it bigger. Because if you guys saw me on Instagram hanging around with some Raider fans in North Carolina, which is not that really easy, but I made it. And shout out to Crown Town Raiders to provide the hospitality to see welcome Raphael to the club of fans of Raider Nation in North Carolina. That was it. That was pretty much it. And I know that I've been struggling to do my best. I know that I'm not the greatest of all earth. I'm not the greatest of all time. I'm not the GOAT. I'm just a human being, proving myself that I can do things better. Because not only I'm a creator, but also I'm a videographer, photographer, I'm a freelance journalist. I know that I can do anything better. So fuck all the haters coming out there. And fuck those persons who thinks anything about negativity. So fuck those persons with negativity, and I'll prove myself that I can do my things, anything better. Because forget about the haters, forget about all the trolls, because I can continue to prove myself that I'm here, that I'm the motherfucking Capitán Rafucho on the building. So that's what's up. That's what's up. And I know that I can continue to provide content not only on English, but also in Spanish. So that's why I'm wearing this t-shirt coming out there, best in the world, like CM Punk. Because you know why? It's clobbering time! And I will tell you this right now, mental health is not a joke. Because we've been experiencing some mental breakdowns, and if you have one of those episodes, you had to reach out with your family, with your closest friends. Check on your friends before it's too late. Because I understand some of those persons are not feeling good, they're not feeling well, but it's really important to see how those persons are really struggling, because you're not alone. You're not alone, my friend. And I just wanted to tell you, to all those persons, make it bigger, keep forward, and don't let the haters consume you, because you're important. You're a true star. You're worth. You're actually worth. And you're very, very smart. And you're somebody. Because look at me. Look at me. I know that I have Asperger's syndrome. I know that I was born in Barquisimeto, Venezuela. But the real thing is, I wasn't give up. I wasn't give up for none of this. Because my goal is do anything better and do something that I really love. Providing content to all the people, and fuck those haters. Because the Capitán Rafucho doesn't give a fuck. It is not gonna leave. Because he wants to stay and provide content and prove them wrong. Prove them wrong right now. And salute to all the explorers, for graduates. And I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining at the special episode of Straight Outta Nation, recapping Las Vegas Raiders 2026 NFL Draft. I know it's been like a hell of a draft coming up there, because we need something to get involved with more defense and more offense. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. And also you can follow me on different social media. Instagram at Capitán Rafucho 93, on Kick Twitch, and TikTok at Capitán Rafucho 93. And if you want to help and support this stream, you can make a donation by Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. All financial help is welcome. So I just wanted to tell you. Thank you guys for joining at Straight Outta Nation, because we don't want to recycle media trash. We're breaking it down. News, rumors, chaos, hot topic, pre- and post-game breakdowns, stats, real fans, real voices, real smoke with creators and die-hard maniacs. Because we got to get ready, because this is Straight Outta Nation, a war room, not only for the Raider fans, but also we can talk about basketball, soccer, college football, college basketball, including women's basketball. Because there is something very special that is going to be really soon. So stay tuned to the Capitán Rafucho YouTube channel, and of course, some of the social media coming up there. Thank you very much. Have a good Sunday. Have a good weekend. And of course, salute to y'all. My name is Rafael Chacinas. No es el Capitán Rafucho. I will see you there at the next time and the next episode of Straight Outta Nation. Let's go. This is not about a Raiders podcast. This is a war room for football, soccer, and baseball, basketball culture. No scripts, no safe takes, no fake analysts, no bullshit. So you guys, and Capitán Rafucho, out.